emelu, amala onye dị mma na onye dị njọ. Asị na anya na-afụ obi, asị na anya na-afụ ime obi.
Once upon a time, there lived a very wealthy businessman named Uchenna. Uchenna had so much money, his business was doing well. Uchenna was a very hard-working, industrious man. He had his plantation, he had his cocoa business, he had his palm oil business. He was doing very well for himself. After some time, Uchenna decided to marry. Every woman wanted him. He was not only rich, but also handsome and very kind. Every woman wanted to marry him and be his wife. However, he had his eyes on UREMMA. UREMMA was one of the most beautiful girls in the kingdom. She was also kind and soft-spoken. UREMMA was so happy that Uchenna wanted to marry her. Uchenna covered the expenses for all the traditional wedding. He bought everything that UREMMA needed and dreamt of. He gave her a dream wedding. UREMMA was the envy of every girl. You're so lucky. Look at how beautiful you are. He has bought everything for this wedding. You are set. UREMMA was so happy. The gods have been kind to her. What more could somebody want from a husband? He was so kind and attentive. He spoiled UREMMA. He bought her things every day. He made her the center of his world. Anything she needed, anything she wanted, Uchenna would get it for her. Nothing was too expensive. Nothing was difficult to get for him. Now, during the ceremony, UREMMA was the happiest. Her parents were proud of her. People came to eat and drink. It was a very joyous occasion. Now, after the ceremony, UREMMA moved into her husband's house, as was tradition. They were now husband and wife. UREMMA was so happy. Now, after a week, UREMMA decided to go and see her friends who were in another village. So she dressed up and was set to go. But Uchenna stopped her and said, "Where are you going to?" My husband, I am going to see my friends. They just came and I want to see them before they leave. They're in my father's house." "So, what are you going to do there?" "I just told you I want to go and see my friends." Before UREMMA could react, Uchenna slapped her. "You stupid woman, is this how you want to be gallivanting around the village? So your friends came and you want to go and see them? Is there a problem, Uchenna? I just want to go and see my friends. I will be back." The next thing, Uchenna slapped her again. "Get inside the house, you stupid woman. Look at you. Want to go and see who?" Now, this continued, and with time, UREMMA began to lose her confidence. Her husband would call her ugly, stupid, and dumb. After a few months, UREMMA became pregnant. UREMMA was happy. At least, for now, her husband would not abuse her. Uchenna was happy. This was to be his first child, his first son. Anything UREMMA wanted, he would get it for her. He apologized for hitting her. Now that she was going to give him a son, everything was going to be okay. So, UREMMA was enjoying herself. Her family, her sisters, brothers, her mother, they came to visit her. But she never told anyone that her husband was hitting her. She only said that she preferred to stay at home. After 9 months, UREMMA gave birth to a girl. Uchenna became different. "Where is the son that you promised me? But it is the gods who give children, UREMMA said. Let's thank the gods that we have a healthy baby. The next one could be a boy. Uchenna slapped her. Is it not your mates that are giving birth to male children? Why can't you give me a male child? UREMMA was so upset. It's the gods that give children, she said. How can she make a boy? Now the abuse continued. However, UREMMA's mother noticed something. She told UREMMA that she was losing a lot of weight. She was looking tattered. She was not the beautiful girl that once was. What's happening, UREMMA? Tell me, my daughter, what is happening? But UREMMA did not tell her mother. She only said that she wasn't feeling well and needed time to rest. UREMMA's friends could no longer see her, and she could no longer go and visit them. Gradually, they all married and moved on. Now, again, UREMMA was pregnant. This time, she prayed to the gods that she would have a boy. But again, it was a girl. Uchenna's abuse became even worse. He would beat her at the slightest opportunity. He disrespected UREMMA by sleeping with other women. He wouldn't eat her food and he would always abuse her. Look at you. You barren woman. Others are giving birth to sons and you cannot give birth to one. UREMMA will cry and cry and cry. One day, Uchenna came home with one of his mistresses and locked UREMMA and her children outside of the house. That day it was raining. UREMMA begged that her children should go in, but Uchenna refused. Again, Uchenna would beat her and he wouldn't provide funds for his daughters. Although he was a rich man, his daughters looked poor. At this point, word had started spreading that Uchenna was maltreating his wife, but nobody did anything. Instead, UREMMA's mother would ask her, what did you do to upset him? You have to be a good, obedient wife. You cannot provoke your husband. If he beats you, you have to find out what it is that you have done to offend him. UREMMA was confused. How is it her fault that Uchenna beat her? What did she do to deserve this type of treatment? Now, one night, UREMMA's children had gone to stay with her mother, and it was just her and her husband, and they began to argue. Uchenna wanted to take a second wife, and he told UREMMA that the second wife was going to come next week. He had already paid for her bride price and she was already pregnant for him, he said. UREMMA was so upset. They argued and argued and fought, and then one of them fell and died. Now, a few days passed, and Uchenna's family couldn't find him. So they asked UREMMA, where is your husband? And she said that her husband went for a business trip. That is all that she was aware of. But Uchenna did not tell any other person, and this was strange. If he was to go for a business trip, he would tell others. However, his second wedding was coming up. So his brother stepped in his place and went in place of him to perform the wedding ceremony, which was allowed in the tradition. So the second brother married the second wife for Uchenna and then brought her back home. As she came to Uchenna's house, she came with her own guests and family. UREMMA prepared a meal for them and they all ate. At first, the second wife believed that UREMMA would not like her, but UREMMA was nice and welcomed her and told her everything was going to be okay, that they would live in peace. So they accepted her food and ate it. At the end of the ceremony, Uchenna still did not come, but they ate and left. The second wife was given a room in the house. The next day, when the second wife woke up, she did not find UREMMA anywhere. She searched and searched, but UREMMA and her children had gone. The next day, everybody who followed the second wife became sick. They were all vomiting, looking pale. Blood was coming out from their mouth. So they called the herbalist, and after the herbalist performed his rituals and investigations. He told them that they had eaten a dead body. They were all surprised. How? How? The gods forbid. The herbalist told them that they had eaten human meat, and because of this, they were going to be sick, and some of them would die. The second wife was upset. But how would they eat dead meat? What is it that they all ate at the same time? And everybody remembered that they ate at UREMMA's house. What dead meat did she give them? But UREMMA had left. Nobody could see UREMMA and her children. And so the matter was taken to the king. So the king now called on his powerful Ezemo. And the Ezemo revealed that UREMMA and Uchenna had a fight. In that fight, UREMMA had accidentally killed him and he died. Instead of UREMMA to tell the villagers what had happened, she cut his body into pieces and cooked it as food and served his guests when they came. Everybody shouted, "What? We have to arrest her," they said. But the problem was, nobody knew where UREMMA went to. Nobody. Her father's house was searched, but they did not know where UREMMA went to. They claimed that they were innocent. They were not aware of her plot. But where did UREMMA go to? Nobody could find UREMMA.
Amalungo nye melo, amalonye dimba no nye dinjo.